The true jewel of consciousness was love, not wealth and success, not fame and power, but love. It is the true jewel of consciousness. And if you don't have it, no matter how successful, how famous, how wealthy you are broke.
Why did you decide to give up your companies in the 80s?
I could see my attachment to them. I could see my attachment to the success. I could see my attachment to my pride in being successful. I could see my attachment to a future that was going to be very easy as a result of wealth. And I saw my attachment to that. And I saw all these attachments as prisons, which they are. So I gave them all up, because I wasn't interested in being a prisoner. I was into freedom. Whatever you hang on to becomes your prison.
And you mentioned all the attachments that you could see related to your businesses. Did you try and give those up without physically giving away your companies?
No, I'd worked out it was the only way to do it. I went into my offices on a Friday and handed them everything over to my staff. They absolutely categorically refused to accept it. And so I went back the following week and handed it over and never went back. Furniture, all the money that was owed to me. The business was a multi-million-dollar company. And it was the best thing I ever did. I'm not into being a prisoner of anything, ever. Wealth doesn't set you free. There's this idea that it does, but it doesn't. It doesn't make you happy. There's an idea that it does, but it doesn't. What makes you happy is when you find your own heart and you love. That makes you happy.
From what I understand, you had what people would consider financial freedom. You didn't have to work.
No, I hadn't worked for years. I retired when I was very young.
And the projected future was you didn't have to work for the rest of your life.
That's correct.
But you saw through the trap of that. Like, would you say it was a trap?
It was against my heart. It was in the way. It was an obstacle. I knew that the true jewel of consciousness was love, not wealth and success, not fame and power, but love. It is the true jewel of consciousness. And if you don't have it, no matter how successful, how famous, how wealthy you are broke. And when I decided to give away my companies, I felt broke. In letting go of the companies, I started to find my heart. I dropped my defences, removed the obstacles that are in the way, and started to live the way of the heart, which is a beautiful way to live. Generally speaking, business is not that way. As a businessman, I was a war machine, and I was very good at it. But I'd been conned. I had been told that when you get successful and wealthy, you'll be happy. What a lie that is. When you get successful and wealthy, you just want more, because that's what you've been programmed to do. And so you just become selfish and greedy, not interested, full stop.
Do you think it will work for someone to get material success and raise their consciousness and find love at the same time?
Depends on how much they've closed up to be successful. As I stated earlier, I was a war machine. I'd actually studied the art of war when I was a teenager, read the book about 20 times of Sun Tzu. I practiced war. It took quite a while to undo it all, because it was built pretty strong. So it depends on how much you've armoured up to take the world on, as to how cut off you are from your own heart.
What did it take for you to take down all the armour?
I became a bum. I walked around Australia for 4 years without shoes on as a bum, and I became humble. I stopped trying to be a somebody and became absolutely willing to be a nobody, going nowhere.
When you walked around Australia and became a nobody going nowhere, is that still part of the ego?
It was at the time, yeah. But I knew that I wanted to find my heart, and I knew that to do that I had to undo a lot of how I'd been built. And so bit by bit I took it apart until there was nothing in the way anymore. And then I went back to school and trained in naturopathy and psychotherapy, so I'd have some skill set to help people, because I wanted to be in service.